Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. We're going to take a look at working. We're going to take a look at business. We're going to take a look at the business of life. Our guest is Whitney Vosberg. He and his partner, Charlie, have written a book. Charlie Grantham have written a book called WTF with a big exclamation mark. However, it's not a dirty thing. It's work the future today. Work the future today. Finding your path to purpose, passion, and profit. And as we record our show, the Work the Future Today Pocket Pal has been released, and you can find that at Amazon.com. Go there and look up Work the Future Today. Whitney, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've worked for a number of corporations and businesses, and I think most businesses are profit first. We don't care about we don't care about customers, employees. We hear about this a lot, and I think but I think that needs to change. Is that what WTF is all about?
Work the Future Today is about going from the old story of profit first to the new story of purpose first. So the old story had a bottom line, triple bottom line of profit, people, planet. And what we need now is a new triple bottom line of planet, people, profit. Why? No planet, no people, no profit.
That makes perfect sense. But in some multinational companies, go to Wall Street, the greed factor there is just amazing to me. The profits that they make, and I'm a capitalist. Don't get me wrong, but there's got to be. You have to take care of people. You have to take care of the planet. I'm thinking of insurance companies, health insurance companies, and the way they have the American people hostage. How do we change that?
One of the ways is thinking about the triple bottom line, as I mentioned, putting the planet first because that's our home and our life support system, and then putting people because if there's no people, as I said, there's no profit. So it's flipping the paradigm of capitalism as the global operating system. It's not going to go away, but in its current form, it's dying, and we need to replace it with a new, better way of bringing business to life, to support our communities, to support one another, to support our well-being and our wellness. So we need a new operating system. You can think of it as a new GPS, a global purpose system.
I love that.
So that we start with why instead of how much.
Because this is a health show, we talk about health insurance companies. Recently, a major insurance company raised their supplement by over 30%. Their Medicare supplement premium cost by over 30%. In fact, I think it was over 32%. It went from $80 to $116. I'm not a mathematician, so everybody can figure that out. But that's a lot. That's a big increase.
Yes, particularly for the folks who typically buy it are on small fixed incomes, relying typically on Social Security and maybe a little bit more, but not much. The impact is huge.
It is. And, we remember stories a number of years ago. Seniors have a choice. Cat food, out of cans to eat, or prescriptions. Ridiculous.
I've actually seen elders, when I was living in New York City, eating cat food.
And that makes me
speechless.
It's not
an urban myth. It's a reality.
Yeah. That's it's awful. How did you was there well, how did you change, or did you change, or have you always thought this way? Was there a paradigm shift within Whitney and Charlie?
Yes, if you have a concern for the well-being of everyone and the world and all its living systems and beings, and you've worked in the corporate world, after a while you have a wake-up call, realizing that we have a choice, particularly now with global climate change and headless leadership at all levels, in that humanity has a choice now, which is creation or destruction.
And there was a report within the last 2 days that the oceans are heating up faster than we thought. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yes, well, the oceans are the canary in the coal mine in terms of that. Right now, I was just looking at an article on the London Guardian about how insects, which is our support system, global support system on land, are disappearing at an incredibly rapid rate. Business as usual is over.
Well, okay, I'm not a bug guy, all right? And I make a deal with the bugs. They can do whatever they want outside, but inside, and I know it sounds terrible, and I try to bring them outside if they sneak into my house. Yep. But if they're ants, they can carry disease. They ruin food. You got to get rid of them. Don't you?
It's best to exclude them so that you can seal the holes in your kitchen, in your food supply, in your house. You try to cut down on the number of entrances,
right?
So there are fewer to deal with.
But like a small kid who can get through, all kinds of small holes, the bugs seem to be able to get all around. And to me, it's a problem. I mean, we have a problem with bees. Bees are really one of the biggest life supports for the human race, and yet they are dying. I was at Farmer's Market talking to a beekeeper who sells her honey, and she's lost, and they don't know why, she's lost thousands of bees over the last few years. They can't figure out why.
It's a worldwide epidemic. And so, I'm not an alarmist, but I can honestly say, as many others can say, shift happens and we're deep in it.
That's very good. What kind of jobs, what kind of work did you do when you were working for companies and corporations?
I started as a graphic designer, became an art director, then a brand consultant, and then the last 20 years I've been working as a interim or consulting VP of marketing, chief marketing officer. Started with Silicon Valley startups, and then mid-sized companies, and then I went on to work with Fortune 20 companies. Are
you still doing that work as well as the writing?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Oh, we're either looking or you're consulting, either one of those. Our guest is Whitney Bosberg. He and his partner, Charlie Grantham, have written a book called WTF, Work the Future Today. Work the Future Today, Finding Your Path to Purpose, Passion, and Profit. And it is available on Amazon. They have a new Pocket Pal edition that's just come out this week as we air the show. And you can check that out at Amazon.com. I'm really curious about the workforce today. According to government figures, there are not enough people to fill the jobs that they need. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. But there are some myths about the workplace that need to be exploded. There are many people who have the wrong work, not the right kind of work, not enough work, not enough work that pays the bills for a livable wage. There's a tremendous series of mismatches, misunderstandings, and even misleading figures and facts and quotes about today's workforce.
And at the same time, studies indicate that 80 to 90% of the people are not happy in what they do. A lawyer, for example, is kind of forced into the family law firm and then becomes a social worker and is happy for 30 years. But that's very unusual. They stay and become, grizzly old men or women doing work that they're not happy with. Is that part of the situation?
Yes, they die long before they actually become deceased.
I love that. You're right. How do we stop that? How do you say to yourself, I need the money, I have this great lifestyle, but I hate what I do? Can WTF Work the Future Today, can that help somebody say, this is really what I want to do. I want to be an artist.
Yes. Work the Future Today is about co-creating your future starting right now. The future doesn't happen tomorrow. It happens right now. Everything we do, everything we don't do, becomes the sum of who we are today as well as tomorrow. So by finding your purpose, your why, which is your unique gift to the world, and then figuring out your who, your place, your community, who best to share your unique gift with, and then putting it into practice, the how, the what, the when, which is where most businesses start, on the how and how much as opposed to the why.
Mm-hmm.
So it's having a path to, purpose, passion, profit is all based on knowing your purpose, your why, which acts as the North Star, your who to share it with, and then your practice, how to best share it.
But at the same time, we all need to live in this physical world. We need cash.
Yes.
Right? And I've known friends who have, they reach retirement age and they downsize. And yet they may not have enough money to do everything they want to do. They need to reinvent themselves, I guess.
Yes.
And that would be the thing to do with WTF, with Work the Future.
That's right. Recently, Yuval Harari, best-selling author of *Sapiens* and other books, predicted that the most important life skill of the 21st century is reinvention. I agree.
I agree, too. I'm always reinventing what I do. Well, almost always. This is Late Night Health. Our guest is the co-author of Work the Future Today. It's available at Amazon. There's also a website. We'll have a link to that on latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com. I'm Mark Alyn. Whitney and I return in just a couple of moments, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Don't go away. More coming up here at Late Night Health.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. To think like an angel, you just have to see the love that's within all of those around you. It's as simple as sharing what's in your heart. When you think, act, and love just like an angel, there's little difference between you and these beautiful celestial beings. When you awake, begin your day in gratitude for something in your life. Start your day by embracing the first person you meet with a hug and a kiss. If you encounter someone in need, help them. It's as easy as sharing a smile or a kind word. And most importantly, love, love, love. It's that simple.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audio book. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, Darrell Wayne.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?